Have you ever noticed the impact that media has on our youth and society today? Well, according to Diane M. Falk from tparents.org, she states that it is guns, it is poverty, it is overcrowding, and it is a uniquely American problem of the culture that is infatuated with violence. We love it, we glamorize it, and we teach it to our children. I'm sure all of us have been influenced at least once by watching TV, listening to the radio, browsing the internet, or even playing video games. Since media has played a big role in influence our youth today, I bet all of us have know or have a brother or sister, niece or nephew, or cousin who has been influenced to do something because of what the media shares to the public. Today, I will be talking about some negative key influences that media has on today's youth and how we can, and some key points of how we can help them. First, I would like to identify a few key points of media influences, such as TV, internet, music, video, and video games. Youth today are so easily influenced by what they see and what they hear and who and what they interact with. TV, for example, like cartoons and reality shows such as Family Guy or Jersey Shore, which both have negative influences on youth due to their explicit language and content.
It's been 24 hours. Got my money? You know what? Just give it till next Friday. I'll have it for you. Oh, well, that's funny. I could have sworn I said have it today. Yeah, I don't have it. Sorry. Oh, that's all right then. That's good, OJ. Did that hurt? What the hell? Yeah, that feels so good, doesn't it? Still, huh? Yeah, that's what happens, man. Oh my God! Yeah, that's what happens. Where's my money? Where's my money, man? Where's the money? That feels good? That feels good? Where's the money? Where's my money? You got till 5 o'clock. You hear me? You got till 5 o'clock. You friggin' psychopath. Then clean yourself up.
As you saw, that was an example of the type of cartoons that are viewed on public television, and of course, the youth are watching it. Another example would be internet, such as social networks, such as Facebook and MySpace. Both have negative effects on youth when it comes to youth wanting to be socially active and in constant need to stay updated in the latest gossip. Another influence would be music, which is another negative influence on youth because of the sexual content that they expose in the lyrics they sing. For example, take reggaeton music. It is obscene. It's obscene content in music videos, which you usually see the girls in videos are usually wearing bikinis or usually half naked. Video games are also a negative effect enforcer on youth. For example, the video game called Call of Duty, which is a game that involves guns, how to aim them, warfare tactics, and explicit content clips. With that being said, media can lead to aggressive behavior in children. American Academy of Pediatrics states that by the time a youth has reached the age of 18, the average American child will have viewed about 20,000 acts of violence on TV alone. And the level of violence on a Saturday morning of cartoons is higher than the level of violence during prime time. Therefore, media violence affects children aggressively in an antisocial behavior. They fear becoming victims and it increases their appetite for more violence and entertainment in real life. Now that I have highlighted some of the ways that youth is negatively influenced, I will briefly explain how community is also an effect on our nation's youth today. Today, youth are faced with unhealthy and unsafe practices that they engage in to become product members of society. Parental influences, such as child to parent. A child replicates the parent or guardian. Through body language and verbal language. Here's an example of Naomi Campbell and her daughter. Youth today view this and they see like, oh, okay, so I see that my mom is rolling with money and dressed in fancy clothes, and that's what I should do. Children get the impression that this is what life is like and this is what needs to be done. Additional, it will be self-identity such as youth and body image. An example is an influencer. An example of an influencer would be pop stars such as Selena Gomez, which a lot of youth watch on like Disney Channel. And according to CrisisConnections.org, studies show that 80% of younger girls are being deluged by media images of skinny models, and that they are becoming weight conscious as young as 8 years old, while 20% of males are becoming insecure about their physical appearance, and advertising on other media images raise their standards to idealize well-built men. Additionally, researchers are also seeing an increase in obsessive weight training and the use of anabolic steroids and dietary supplements that promise bigger muscles and more stamina for lifting. So in conclusion, many young youth are influenced by the media, but youth are usually the ones who replicate the negative effects. We have to teach our youth what's right and what's wrong, and influence them how to make better and wiser decisions to guide them toward positivity. We all know that cartoons, reality shows, internet, and radio and movies have a negative context, but we have to discipline our youth and introduce them to a positivity in life.
All right, Will, what did you think?
I thought overall it was a really good topic. It's a really hard topic to inform people on. As far as some weaknesses I noticed, it seemed like you were a little nervous, so you need to relax and breathe. I noticed some shaking in your voice. I have that problem too. The video examples, for the most part, were pretty good. When you played the clip of Family Guy, a lot of people might not know what that is, so I felt, especially the Family Guy and the Call of Duty game, maybe you should have talked a little during the video to go more in depth with it, because they're a little bit too long and there's too much silence there, so I kind of got distracted. When you mentioned internet, you mentioned problems, but you didn't really show examples of like exactly what problems Facebook gave, MySpace, listed. You didn't really go into detail with that. Would have been nice to see maybe a short video or a picture of a reggaeton music video. For the most part, you talked to the audience. I think you were staring down at your paper too much, but you did a lot of good research. And yeah, it was good. I liked it.
All right. The rhetorical question, the quote that you have at the beginning are okay, although the quote does seem like it's a little bit old. You know, we're deluging our kids with all of this stuff, and it's 1994. I'm thinking, well, we should be in hell in a handbasket. That's before, you know, the internet was widely available to people. We should, you know, we must be in really bad shape at this point. I think you could find something a little bit more contemporary than that. Especially since it's not really the language that is so important there, it's the conclusion that the person is talking about. Your subject is clear, you've got a clear statement of what the topic is. I do think it's way too broad. As I'm listening to it, you're talking about too many things. You need to pick one and talk about that. And violence in the media seems to be the thing that you spent most of your time on, and so I would have spent all of your time focusing on that. Let's cut out some of the other stuff about how kids have to live up to a particular standard, or the influence that music videos might have, or the negative self-image somebody might develop because of commercials or models or any of those kinds of things. I think you're spreading yourself too thin, and you don't get a chance to talk about any of those things. I think Will said it. I didn't hear anything about the social networks and the dangers that they present, and the closest you came to having some development of the issue of social models was Naomi Campbell and her daughter, which seemed to me to be the exact contrary example that you wanted, because her daughter's not being influenced by the media, she's being influenced by her parent, which is not the media. You know, I mean, the end, it seems like it's your solution at the end also, so I think that that's a little bit inconsistent. So this is one of those things where if you came back to me with your outline now, I'd look at it and say, you know what, we need to change this. We need to take this out, this out, this out, this out. Let's just focus on this. I think I'm not sometimes as ruthless as I need to be when people come to me and say, because I know that you have this idea, you see all these things being connected, and I should have just said, you know what, no, let's cut all that out so that you're a lot more focused. I have to agree about the video clips. They go on too long. They illustrate your point really well, but I don't know how long the Family Guy clip was. I wasn't paying attention. I know you didn't show the whole clip, but it seemed like it was at least a minute, and then the commercial that you showed us was a minute, and both of those go on and on and on and on. You know, and they illustrate the point that you're talking about, but they overdo it. On the other hand, I thought that you had it all planned very well about how you were going to, you know, I'm going to show these things, and then I've got the clip embedded here, so all I have to do is click on that and show it, and I thought that worked really well. So there's good planning on it. Just you need to have a little bit more control over what decisions you're making about how to include things in the speech. But the way you put it together, that I don't have any problems with that. All right, thank you.